Welcome back to another first impression. This time for the anime, The Demon King's Daughter is Too Kind. Synopsis on any list. Once feared as the ruler of all demons, Demon King Ahriman seeks to conquer the world until he's stopped by an unexpected force, his daughter Do. Too kind for chaos and too gentle for war, Do melts the hearts of demons, humans, and even angels. Desperate to restore demon pride, Ahriman's aide Yahi vows to train Do to become a proper demon. But is Yahi any match for Do's compassion? So we have a comedy, slice of life show about Do, which is the Demon King's daughter with the brown hair, being trained by Yahi, the blonde demon lady, to become a demon. What they describe as a demon, which is a being that is full of malice, is essentially evil. What we would see as evil, especially towards humans or non-demons, essentially. But she fails miserably because Do wants to just have everyone be happy, to have fun. She wants to share all the things she likes with everyone around her. And that is essentially what the show is about. We have every episode has like 2 parts. We have 2 stories. And we just go through these trials that Yahi goes through to try and get the demon side to awaken. And it always goes wrong. And she is more or less succeeding in these quotation trials by just being the total opposite to what they believe a demon should be. Now, the Demon King Ahriman is unable to continue his conquering of the world because he is occupied by his daughter, I guess. I mean, he could just take over the world nonetheless and then worry about his daughter afterwards, or he could get a different child. Also an idea. But you shouldn't worry about that. Worry about the little cute girl being happy and nice. It is a lot. It does work a lot on the comedy aspect of the show and the cuteness factor that the daughter provides. It doesn't really resonate too well with me because I'm not really a comedy guy. You do need to hit my funny bone precisely for me to really get the comedy aspect. It is cute. It is definitely very cute. Every episode also has like a little song. And I mean the whole episode, which is 2 stories, has a little song. Some of them nice, some of them fine. These are like little short songs, like similar to a children's rhyme. There are some questionable parts that you just ignore, which I find somewhat funny. But that would be a little bit spoilery. So let's go to ratings, and I'm going to, as always, yap a little bit more. Animation was fine. You don't need that much animation. You just need to showcase the little cutesy daughter doing nice things to everyone. AniList has it at 70%. My anime list at 7.21. Again, I'm not the comedy guy, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I would just give it a 7 out of 10. It's fine. I don't find it particularly funny. At least not all the time, not enough. It is very cute, but also not so cute that I fall in love with the show, like other shows do, like Spy X Family, which I would see as a lot more cute, but sure. So let's go into some spoiler, there's no real big story. So still, I'm going to talk about the episodes. There are a couple things that are on my mind specifically. One is episode 2, one is episode 3. So you have been warned. In episode 2, we find out there is a demon hunter, which is a very interesting name, for one of the humans, because half his side is like darker, which we find out is because he got demon blood on him. And whenever you get demon blood on you, it more or less, I don't know, gives you some discoloration on the skin, so that everyone can tell you or the demon or you got demon blood on you for some reason. Now we find out that this guy, he had a wife, he had a daughter, he had a simple life. He came home one day and he met some demons that seemingly burned down the house because they were trying to find like food and money or whatever. And it sounded like they were not really part of the demon army, but more got displaced by the demon army. Maybe they didn't make the cut. I don't really remember. But they were evil and burned down the house. First off, it doesn't really make sense to burn down the house. I liken this to like a chicken coop where you have a bunch of chickens and you steal their eggs. And instead of being like, okay, leave the chicken alone in the chicken coop so we get more eggs at some time, they just burn down the chicken coop and kill the chickens, which is not how this works. On the other hand, they are, again, not really part of the demon army and may not care that much. Still, it doesn't really make sense to do that. Now, the guy, naturally, as you would do as a father and a husband that has lost both the most important people in his life, follows the demons and kills them, which is pretty solid. Now, in the story, we see that as a flashback because he got caught and he was enslaved and in the mines. They mine magic stones, it doesn't matter. But they are essentially slaves in the mines. And we have our little girl, be all happy. She's healing him, removing the stain. He sees like a little bit of his own daughter in her. They have a like nice little bonding moment. He goes back into the mines. He's working really hard. She learns magic. She puts ice into the mines, so they have a pretty, somewhat more acceptable work environment. And that is it's so nice and end of the storyline, which, if you don't think about it, fine, but they are still slaves in the mines, working non-stop. It's not really a happy ending, if you really think about it. It's a pretty bad ending, especially because we know and we have seen that there are also human children in the mines. So there are human slaves, children slaves, which is not really that useful, all things considered. Already from a logistical standpoint, why do you have children slaves? They are not able to work as efficiently. They take a lot of food and they are very weak. So why do you have them? And again, if you don't really think about it, you would not really mind it that much, but they are all still slaves. And children slaves at that point as well. And they had a really bad environment. They do get hit and all. Again, this is a happy show with slavery. Just, you know. In episode 3, we have the whole situation again. The MO is always, hey, We have the daughter, we have the king. The king doesn't really look like a demon king. Didn't mention that. He looks like a little teddy bear. And then, yeah, he comes along. I have a new trial. Always goes wrong. Doesn't matter. In episode 3, we find out a new member, which is like a friend of Yahi, Taiti, whatever her name is. And she is part of the seduction witches. Now, she looks like a child or like a young girl. Already very bad to be a seduction witch with that build, because there are not a lot of people you can seduce with those, with the, you know, that skill build. But nonetheless, she's like, okay, I have an idea for a try. How about we teach your daughter how to seduce? And she's like, oh, I want to learn seduction because she's a literal child. She doesn't know what is going on. And the dad is like, good, let's do that. What? Why are we teaching a little demon child seduction? It's not that she looks young or, you know, but is older. She looks like she's under 8. And we are teaching her how to seduce. Now, doesn't really matter because the seduction witch we have at our hand is also not very capable. Mostly because it is her body that doesn't really work that well with these humans. But that is also like a weird thing. Naturally, this all revolves around torturing a prisoner, which is, if you look at it a little bit more objectively, also very weird. Because this is like a happy-go-lucky little show. Don't forget that the premise of the show was the Demon King trying to take over the whole world, enslaving everyone else so the demons can have their empire. And yeah, those two, especially those two little stories, really sticked out to me. I feel like that sounds very wrong. Stuck out to me. Because the other ones are a lot more sensible. We have a situation where she is supposed to go into a human village and suppress them, lie to them, be like a demon, and she's like a little daughter to all of them. Understandable. We have another scene where she is rescuing a dragon or salamandra, and those are totally fine. But again, we have interspersed slavery and torturing. I mean, the slavery part is pretty dark if you just remove her. The torturing part, less so. We don't really see the hurting torture. We are just trying to seduce them into telling us what is happening. But a little bit weird.